Hello everybody, this is Yoko My Reactions, and I just got done editing a video, and I'm going to be doing a review of it. As for what it is, you could probably tell by the title. It's Code Geass episodes 2 and 3. I was able to get 2 episodes done today, but sadly my sister had to go to the emergency room due to reasons. And, there's a good reason. She thinks there's something going on, and the 2 options that she came up with that they could possibly be, I don't know if there's more options, but neither of them are that good. Thankfully, I don't think the first one could possibly be life-threatening if it continues to bleed, but the other one isn't life-threatening to her, but yeah, I'm not getting into too much detail about that because it's not my business to share. But yes, she brought the kids here, so we're having to watch until she comes back, and then she's gonna take them back with her. So yeah, so I should still be good for the weekend to record, I hope. So tonight when I get home from work, I need to make sure to clean, so I don't have to worry about it in the morning. Because then if my mom complains, well, you're on the computer all day, I'm like, I got the house cleaned on yesterday. That should be enough. Because, I mean, I'm not going to be using... Technically, I don't really need to use the vacuum cleaner except in here and upstairs, but... But, yeah, the kids are occupied for the moment. So I think I'm good. The kids are being good at the moment. Mom's awake and taking a shower. Anyway, Code Geass episodes 2 and 3. Obviously, last time we left off, okay, sorry, I was looking at something. Dang it, what was I saying? This ended right after Lelouch got the Geass and had the men commit suicide, essentially. He's trying to figure out what's going on. Living room. Living room. The couch. Anyway, one of the other Britannian soldiers, Royal Knights, whatever, someone higher up shows up. The girl from I think she was in last episode. Anyway, she shows up and demands to know what the heck happened because there's a bunch of dead bodies and one kid standing there. Lelouch tries to use the Geass, but obviously we know it requires direct eye contact, so it does not work. So he realizes this and tries to get her to, get out of the mech and approach him by claiming to be nobility and saying that his ID is in his pocket. Like he thought, she gets out, and he immediately uses the Geass on her, telling her to hand over her mech. And she does. And when she comes to, he's gone. He's left. Anyway, he's somehow able to figure out how to use that thing. I don't know how. I mean, I doubt he's been in one of them before, so... Yeah, so this kind of proves that he is a bit of a genius. That he can figure out enemy technology easily. Anyway, he ends up getting in contact with the girl from the Resistance from before, and gets her to obey a couple of orders where she gets rid of a couple of the enemies that were attacking her with his help. and he gets the resistance on his side by offering them more of those Sutherland mechs to use against the enemy if they follow his orders, essentially. And so now this has become a real life game of chess where people can die. It's him against Prince Clovis as the enemy king. Who will win? Obviously, we know who wins because if Lelouch was to lose, he would be captured and killed. Or something like that. Anyway, thanks to his orders, they were actually able to get rid of most of the enemy at this point, and we actually find out that Suzaku is alive. Thankfully, the watch he had in his, I'm guessing his pocket, is what deflected the bullet, and he managed to survive. I'm assuming it still kind of broke some ribs or something, or at least deflected it to where it didn't hit anything vital. But the people who showed up at the lab and the little toy they want to test were the ones that saved him and they're asking him to, dang it, I get an itch on my back. Don't you hate it when you get an itch on your back and you can't quite reach it? Anyway, they want him to test drive a new Nightmare mech. It's apparently the first 7th generation one, and they call it Lancelot. And it has a few little features that the old ones don't have. And he ends up taking them up on their offer. And while this is going on, he takes control of the mech and proceeds to essentially take out all the resistance, essentially. And almost takes out Lelouch in the process. Using the same maneuver that he used to almost take him out before when he thought he was the enemy. The whole spinning kick thing that he did. And I'm like, how did Lelouch not realize that? But yeah, he manages to get away, and even despite this little hiccup, he was able to get past enemy lines and get to Prince Clovis. And thankfully, he was able to get Prince Clovis to agree to tell the men to stand down and to not, kill any more people, that everybody needs to be treated equally, blah, 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 before they killed off the resistance when they found them. So, yeah, the resistance is still somewhat alive. Some of them obviously more than likely died, but that is done, and then Lelouch reveals that he is actually 17th in line for the Britannian throne. So he is royalty, and so is his sister. And second episode, he asked for information about, who arranged the attack on his mother all those years ago. Clovis didn't know anything, but told him that 2 of his siblings more than likely will have more information. And he tries to get him to, not kill him. But obviously, that doesn't work. Because Lelouch shoots him. And now Clovis is dead. As for what happened to Suzaku, we'll find out at the end of the episode. Because Lelouch and the girl from before goes back to school. Colleen, I think that's what her name was. Apparently her family is well known. And this gives her a little bit of a leeway to miss school a lot because, she's been sick. Whether she actually has been sick, I don't know. Either she's lying to her parents about being sick, or they think she's sick and she's using that to go and help with the resistance. I don't know. But we find out later that, I already knew this, obviously. But we find out that the Geass will only work on a person one time. And then, if you try to use it again, it ain't gonna work. So, yeah, this already gets Colleen suspicious of Lelouch because he mentioned Shinjuku when he tried to give her the second order. And obviously it did not work. And now, they're suspicious of each other, and they actually end up adding her to the student council because they claim that since she's sick, she's not going to be able to keep up with regular club activities, so this will probably be her best bet to get involved in after-school stuff. And question: is Millie a closeted bisexual or lesbian or something? Because she's hitting on Shirley. I don't know. Or maybe she's just a perverted old man in a girl's body. I don't know. But I actually knew. We actually get to see his sister, and that she is probably the one person, besides possibly Shirley, that he cares about more than himself. And we find out that she's not only wheelchair bound because of, the attack, because she got hit as well by the bullets, but her mother shielded her from the rest, and that's why she died. Anyway, the emotional and mental trauma from all this caused her to lose her sight. Because it's not, physical. It's because she will eventually get her sight back, from what I know of the show. But when and how, we will have yet to see. But essentially, Lelouch is trying to do all of this for her, so she has a world where she can live in peace and have a bright future. Because that's all he wants it to do for her, essentially. And, question: how can she maneuver herself around, not only in a wheelchair, but also being blind in the process? How is she able to do that? Answer me that. Now, if she was just wheelchair bound, then I wouldn't be questioning it. But she moves around in a wheelchair like a person who can see can do. But yeah, there ends up being a bit of a shenanigan with a champagne bottle when Shirley tries to take it from them, and then the cork accidentally comes out and it spews out and lands on Colleen. So now she has to take a shower and get some new clothes. Lelouch goes to bring her some clothes while she's in the shower, and she ends up demanding answers of him as to how he knows about Shinjuku, because she's suspecting that he's the one that was the voice on the radio, talking to them and giving them orders. And she's not wrong, but obviously Lelouch is not going to tell her that. So he sets it up to where the phone rings while he's in there, and he gives her the phone because it's asking for her, and it's a recording of him as if it's the other person, if it's a different person on the radio. And he stands there, obviously not talking, and she essentially realizes that it's not him. Oh, Lelouch, you plan ahead. What am I saying? He very nearly ended the Britannian Empire in Japan right there. So yeah, he used the Geass already on the maid from earlier to play that recording, I'm guessing at a certain time. Before he brought the clothes, I'm guessing. Because he probably knew that something was going to happen, and he figured he'd get her off his trail, essentially. So now we find out what happens to Suzaku, because as we all know, and as the people who had created the Lancelot mech know, he was out taking care of enemies. They're using him as a scapegoat, essentially, for Prince Clovis's murder. So more than likely, if they don't stop it, he's going to be executed. And obviously, Lelouch is not going to be happy about that. He is going to try and put a stop to it before it can happen, because that is his friend. And he's not going to leave his friend behind. Anyway, as for how he's going to do this, and how he's going to get in contact with the Resistance again, we do not know. Oh, and we find out in episode 2 that, not episode 2, episode 3, I'm sorry. Episode 3, that Colleen is a half-breed, half Britannian, half Japanese. So I'm guessing that her mother was Japanese or something. I don't know. Or maybe her father. I don't know. We don't know. Anyway, yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys next time.